Yo, 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 favorite podcaster all the time. We're going to talk about Tyson Fury. Where's he go next? So I'm watching the interviews. I'm looking at the exit things. I'm reading the body language of Tyson Fury. And that was a man whose whole entire worldview got shattered. His entire life's work, he found out didn't mean diddly dick. So that's what I really saw when I'm watching. Because you got to think about it from Tyson Fury's point of view. He said this was the longest training camp he had, 12 weeks. He didn't even fight. He didn't even train that long for Wilder. He didn't train that long for Klitschko. 12 weeks. So he took this guy seriously. Because Fury is a consummate professional. If we go back to his suicide attempt, he said, "I dedicated my life to boxing. Lost the weight, got back in shape, was happy, spry, joined the Kronk gym." He took this seriously. Like, he's taking his career with the utmost seriousness. And for Francis Ngannou, complete novice, never boxed in his fucking life. Only experience in combat is MMA, and he's coming in at 37 years old. He's actually older than Tyson Fury with no experience, and he pushed that man to the brink. He gave him his hardest fight. Even Tyson Fury admitted, this is probably the hardest fight I've ever taken in about a decade. So what we saw with Tyson with the interview, because say what you want to say. Like, I rewatched the fight, scored it. I give the fight to Tyson. Like, the scoring mechanism, I gave the fight to Tyson by like 1 or 2 rounds. But in the actual fight, like, who doesn't? Because that's what I really. There's 2 types of scoring. There's the actual fighting, and then there's like the who won. Like, who doesn't want to see the other guy? And that's what I find is way more important. Is who doesn't want to see the other guy? And Tyson might have won the boxing criteria for winning, but Francis won the fight. And the scary part is that was his first time ever doing it. So that means he's going to get better. He's not going to get worse with time. So Tyson's like, he gets the championship belt. They bring in Usyk. They go through the whole sham. And you could see in his eye, like, oh my God. Everything I thought about boxing was a fucking lie. What is boxing? Is it what have I been doing for the last 20, 30 years of my life? Did it even matter? Because this guy who has no experience really just walked into my home skill set, knocked me down, made me look like he made it look like he was a top 10 guy. Never done it once in his goddamn life professionally. And Tyson, he was broke. That was a broken man. Like, it's very close to like Izzy Adesanya and Sean Strickland. I saw a very similar correlation. Where 2 guys who thought that they were the top of their game, the pinnacle of fighting, got baptized by heart, grit, and just plain out pressure. That's all Francis brought. Francis just brought the pressure to him. He's like, I'm just going to stand in front of you and hit you, brother. So if you want to hit me, good luck with it. But I'm going to make sure I tag you. As soon as you get within my vicinity, you're getting tagged. And when Tyson realized, holy fuck, like, this is not real, like my whole life's work, everything I've done and built myself, all the things that I trained, the thing that saved me from suicide and killing myself was just a lie. Like, his religion got shattered. This is like finding out that, like the South Park episode, that God wasn't real. God was like this green monster thing. That's basically what happened to Tyson Fury. So now Tyson Fury has 2 choices. He can make what's best for the boxing community, who really doesn't give a fuck. Like, the boxing community, we're going to keep it 100% honest, delusional at best. At fucking best. Those are the most crazy, retarded fans I think I've ever come across as boxing fans. Boxing fans they live in mythology. They don't live in reality. Or he can make the man choice. So the boxing, if he does what's best for boxing, he doesn't speak word of Francis' name again. He fights Usyk to unify the titles. And then he goes off and he probably retires. But that's going to be at the cost of his soul. Because he knows deep down inside what really happened. That he was in a fight for his fucking life. Or he does the man choice. He says, fuck all the rules that boxing created. It was all bullshit. I want another crack at Francis. I want another crack at him. And in that second fight, that's going to really tell the truth of what boxing truly is. Because if Francis dusted him up the second time, I think Tyson might think about going to MMA. I think that would be his next arc, is you know what? Let me try out MMA for a second. Because clearly, what I thought was the epitome of boxing doesn't really mean squat, doesn't mean dick. And Tyson did show an interest in MMA earlier, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. He was doing some grappling. I forget with who he was grappling with, but he was playing around a little bit. And as a man begins to age and as he acquires wisdom and he learns, he wants to go and experiment and try new things. Because think about it, man. Fury dusted up the whole heavyweight division. The only guy left for him is Usyk and maybe that Chinese dude. That's about the only guys left that might pose some type of threat within the boxing community. And there's some other guy he's another heavyweight, light skinned guy, but he's a little bit a ways. I think he's only like 10, 15 0. But Fury might just say, you know what, let me go ahead and have some fun. Because one of the things he realized, I think, and I think the boxing community probably realizes, boxing hurt itself so much by making sure guys had to have a 0. With that 25-0, like the O has to go. Like when your entire marketing is based upon somebody being undefeated and you have multiple championships across the board, what happens is the best guys don't fight the best guys and your guys don't actually get better at the sport. So largely what they're doing is largely just horse shit. It's just dancing. It's a bullshit ass fake dance. And see, what we realize with MMA is it's for the most part it's iron on iron. So you're getting better as you're fighting because you're fighting better guys. Every time that you win, you have to fight a more difficult opponent the next time. Boxing doesn't work that way. Boxing's like you fight a guy and then you go 4 or 5 fights fighting tomato cans and then you fight another guy that's kind of reasonably good. And like really, if you think about it, the only guy that ever kind of made a career still being a draw despite losses was Pacquiao. Because Pacquiao just came to fight every time. And he's just interesting to watch. He had the support of the nation. But for the most part, every single guy in fucking boxing, they have to be undefeated, which is just so fucking stupid. Because if you have a bunch of undefeated guys and they don't want to fight each other, then who the fuck are they fighting? So all of this is largely self-inflicted. So I think largely Tyson's going to take a time to really think about this worldview. Because I look at Tyson as a straight shooter. He did not shoot straight. After that fucking press conference, he kind of hid. He hid from the real. He didn't want to speak about, like, damn, is my whole entire life work bullshit? Like, does it even mean anything? So I don't know. This is gonna be interesting to see where Tyson takes it. I hope that he turns down the mandatory Usyk fight and he does a rematch with Francis, or maybe he fights Usyk and then he calls out Francis for the second one, because we got a new heavyweight boxer. That is, well, I actually know we should call a new heavyweight striker that's about to take over the boxing game. Mr. Francis Ngannou at 37 years old, nigga. Jesus Christ. Pray for humanity.